One time I saw a Charlie Brown Peanuts comic strip where Charlie Brown is sitting on a bench and he has a paper sack sitting next to him. And he's holding a sandwich in his hands, and he makes the comment that nothing ruins the taste of a peanut butter sandwich quite like unrequited love. And I thought that was interesting. It's funny how love that is not returned to you is it makes everything seem different. It makes everything look different, feel different, seem different, even taste different, which is what he was trying to say in that. And I'm sure it had something to do with the little red-headed, curly-haired girl, Frida, who he was always in love with, but never could seem to win her heart. And but that's what Unrequited Love does. And I thought it was just a cute little cartoon. I thought I'd mention it while I was still thinking about it. I've been meaning to bring it up for a while. Here's something that also, another thing I've been thinking about. A couple weeks ago, my older brother from Minnesota came down to he came down on business to Central Florida here. He runs a salon up in Andover, Minnesota, called Belly Capelli. So if you're ever up there in the Twin Cities area, look him up if you want a good place to go to get your hair done. But he was on business down here. He does some consulting. And so while he was here, he thought he would take a day to spend with my family and I. And I had not seen him in a while. But one of the things he did that I thought was really worthy of mentioning is, let me backtrack a little bit. What we did was we let him stay with us in our house, but we had our 12-year-old son give up his room for him to sleep in. And so Damon was like, my older brother Damon was saying, he goes, no, I don't have to do that. It's not a big deal. I'm not put out by, I can either go stay in a hotel or I don't mind sleeping on the sofa, whatever the case might be. I said, no, not a problem. The boys don't mind they don't mind sleeping anywhere. You know how boys are. And so he's like, okay, well, whatever, just let you know. I said, that's not a problem. You can sleep in my son's room. So we allowed him to sleep in my 12-year-old son's room, and then he went and shared his room, shared his older brother's room with him. So we had a great time on that Sunday. My wife and I got up the following day to go to work, and we said our goodbyes to him, and we came back after work, and on the countertop in our kitchen was a note that a handwritten note that he had left my 12-year-old son. And I didn't know he had done this because he had left it in the room. And the note was to Thane, and it was saying to him, and I don't remember it verbatim, but he was saying, thank you for giving up your room for me. Thank you for allowing me to sleep in your bed. It wasn't, I would have been willing to sleep on the floor. It wouldn't have been a problem for me, but I want to thank you so much for doing that for me. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Now, I thought that was so touching for a couple of different reasons. Boys always look up to their uncles anyway, right? But Damon went the extra step, and he actually hand wrote a note, and his penmanship is spectacular. It's just great to look at. I didn't realize his penmanship was that good, but it was so thoughtful, and I even let him know that it was so thoughtful that he took the time to write a handwritten thank you note to my son. I don't know how much it meant to my son. I think someday it will mean something to him. We live in a day and age when everything is about emails, text, messages on social media, and there's so much that's impersonal about it because it's quick and it's easy, and people say the very first thing that's on their mind. It doesn't require a lot of thought. But when somebody takes a pen in hand and writes down a letter of thanks or of love to another person, it's very, intimate and it's very personal. And it says to the person that received it that they meant enough to them, enough thought was given to them that they took the time to put pen to paper. And that is much more valuable now than I think it would have been a long time ago. And so what I want to challenge you to do is take the time to give a handwritten note to somebody, expressing your love, expressing your thanks, your thankfulness, your appreciation, your feelings, your encouragement, because that will mean so much to somebody. It's almost a lost art. Do you understand that? It's almost a lost art. And use your best penmanship. I'm afraid that as of this generation, there will be no penmanship. I personally like writing. I like writing in cursive. I think I have very good handwriting. I take a lot of pride in the way I write. And I've actually told my kids, you need to learn to write cursive, and you need to learn to write it beautifully. Because when you write cursive, it's very, very it's very telling. There's something about it that tells you a lot about another person, what kind of level of patience they have, how artistic they might be. But they say that cursive isn't being taught anymore in schools, and I come to find out that it is being taught in some schools, and I hope it continues to be. But Damon wrote his note to Thane in cursive, and I asked Thane, I said, did you know how to read that? And he did. He knew how to read cursive, which I was kind of surprised. So let this be a challenge to you. Think of somebody, somewhere, that you can write a handwritten note to in your best penmanship to express your gratitude, your thankfulness, your encouragement, and your love. And see what that does. Watch how something blossoms. See how that makes the other person feel. I think you're going to be very surprised. When I was growing up, my mother would leave handwritten notes in our lunch boxes when we actually carried lunch boxes to school. And I always liked that. And I know she did it for my father too. But I always thought that was very special. It's always a nice little pick-me-up. Regardless of how I felt about my mom that day for whatever reason, it's always a nice touch. So think about that, guys. All right, that's my thought at the end of the day for you guys. I hope you have a great night, and I will see you on the flip-flop. Catch you later. Bye-bye.